My name is Nigel Temple from the Marketing Compass, and I was very pleased that Jon invited me to give a presentation today.
And, that presentation was really good. Just give a brief update about it.
So what I was talking about was a client story where they wanted to attract more inquiries and build their business. And I just talked briefly about the 3 steps that I go through with people, which is a concise marketing plan, looking at their website, and looking at the promotional mix, Carla.
And also, you've been busy networking. How did you find it, this slow networking?
I loved it. So I liked the opportunity to meet a wide number of people and just to talk to them in a relaxed way for 10 minutes.
And I noticed, actually, you were having quite a detailed conversation with somebody, so it looks to me like it might be fruitful.
I believe so. I mean, I think with networking, you've got to ask lots of open questions, be very interested in the other person you're speaking to, and then if there's something in common, to zone in on that.
Hi, so my name is Phil Walker. My company is WTT Results Limited, and I design and deliver transformational change for organisations and businesses. For me, networking is about finding out what makes people tick and what opportunities they have, and really to share my knowledge, but more importantly to listen to them and to understand what's going on in their world, what's the sort of things that they know about. And really, if I know more people, then I can help some of my clients and introduce them to people in my network. Today has been great. I've actually managed to connect some of the people I already knew with people that they didn't know I've met. Everybody I've met and talked to today I didn't know before I came in the room. So it's been fantastic to meet some really great people and to understand what their stories are.
And you've got a big story of your own at the moment, haven't you? A book that you will be launching in the summer.
That's right. My book is in production at the moment. It's called Dance with the Elephants. The website is dancewiththeelephants.com, and the manuscript will be finished by April, and then it goes into editing and will be out and available through Amazon as a paperback book in the summer.
Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us.
You're very welcome.
David Clayton, and I
you.
run Heroes in Leadership. After 23 years in the Army, a business partner of myself, we decided that all the transferable skills that we learnt getting ordinary guys to do extraordinary things in quite austere environments are hugely transferable in the business market. So we work primarily with universities, sports teams and schools to try to teach leadership, team building, confidence exercises, and team dynamics, really, to try and get the best out of students, out of sportsmen, and make the team work, really.
And what's your background then? It's military, obviously, but what kind?
I did 23 years in the Coldstream Guards, so I'm an infantry soldier. Joined in the early 80s after the Falklands, and then I've served in every operational theatre since then, and I left in 2008.
Well, these are tough times for business, but we are apparently coming out of recession, so what hope have we got, and what can you teach businesses?
I think there's lots of hope, there's lots of opportunities, there's lots of untapped resources within the manpower and the personnel of each company, and it's tapping into those key resources and getting the best out of people.
I'm Bruce Petty, and I'm a first aid and health and safety trainer.
And you're quite new to networking, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I'm very new to networking. It's been quite an experience and a steep learning curve.
And actually, you've been to a breakfast session today, BNI, and that's quite a different sort of thing, isn't it?
It is. BNI, they're quite formal in how they run things, but it does seem to work how they run it all. They're very keen on referrals and people in the chapter, as they call it, working for each other to get referrals to one another and sharing their good names.
And so you've come along to this like slow networking. It's a different sort of pace, a different sort of setup. So you're just trying things out, aren't you?
Yeah, at the minute it's early days for my business, so I was recommended that I go to networking groups to see how different ones work. They do vary. This is quite informal, but I'm actually getting quite a lot out of it from talking to different people.
And of course, some advice you've had is from the Federation of Small Businesses, isn't it?
That's right, yeah, a chap called Paul Mez. I first met him when I joined the first Federation of Small Businesses, and he suggested that networking for my business would be quite good, and it has been very positive.
And you've been on my radio programme this week, and we had a good conversation about your business, but you also got a lot of take-up when you did a programme with me, the lifestyle programme, talking about first aid. Why is it so important that everybody should know first aid?
I think just knowing the very, very basics of first aid is really, really important. Of course, simple things really do save lives, and just by saying the right things on the telephone when you phone 999, or getting somebody's airway so they're open, so they're breathing properly, it's really, really important.
Now, you're very well known in this area. You worked at BCA, didn't you?
That's right, yeah. Before I decided to set up my own business, I was head of sport and outdoor education at BCA.
And there is somebody here today who's in a similar line of work to you, but it doesn't really matter in networking if you find somebody who is in the same sort of business, does it?
Not at all, actually. Meeting her and having a chat to her is actually really good, because it reassures me that there's more people out there doing the first aid and health and safety training, so there's definitely a market out there for us. And yeah, she's very, very knowledgeable, and yeah, very, very positive.
Well, thank you for finding the time to come today.
No, thank you for inviting me. Cheers.
My name's Annabelle Brown. I'm a specialist bid designer, and I produce nice presented bids for people who want to win business and give them the edge over their competition.
And what sort of background have you got in this?
In 1995, I started out producing bids for a large telecommunications company at Heathrow, and I learned all there is to know about producing a very good document to put towards your client.
And you're not that familiar with networking, are you?
No, I'm quite new to it. I've got to learn my 40-second pitch quite well very soon, so that I can gain some more business.
But at this event, it's nice and slow networking, so it's getting to know people, isn't it?
Yes, it's very, very friendly, very approachable, and people are building relationships here.
We met today at networking. You've come to Jon's networking, and now you've actually got together in the cafe for a little chat. Can you explain who you are and what you have been doing today and what you do?
My name is Diana Connolly. I run a small company called FineTech. We research technical information for businesses and for lawyers. And we've had a very good meeting this morning, and a good meeting after the networking meeting here in the cafe, where I've met up with Francesca and yourself, and it's really been a very effective morning. And
also we're talking about being authors as well. I mean, that's quite an unusual thing too. So I'll be finding out some more about that in just a moment. So you also connected to FineTech, aren't you?
I am.
And what's your name?
My name's David Connolly, and I am a researcher with FineTech and an author.
And you've got quite a few books to your credit, haven't you? They're crime novels.
I have 12 crime novels, which are all available on Kindle.
And also you are very knowledgeable in the management sense as well.
Well, I spent too many years in corporate work.
And obviously you know a lot of people, so we are connecting after the networking, aren't we?
Yes.
And that's quite
that's
important.
very valuable, the ability to actually do more than have a 3-minute conversation.
Right, and now finally we've got this very interesting lady who is a bit camera shy, but you're learning the art of networking, aren't you?
I'm slowly learning the art of networking. I'm also slowly learning as well how to talk to a camera, which for someone like me who's very camera shy is quite an experience. And I would never have been able to have this experience with these wonderfully interesting people around me if I hadn't come here to this wonderful Building 7 Market Suite
at Foundation Park.
At Foundation Park. I
But
had
you
no
also-
idea it existed here, you know.
You also know a lot of people. I mean, in the connection sense, you've already been telling me of lots of people you know. So you're really interested in entrepreneurs, aren't you?
I am indeed interested.
And you're making
in
a bit of a
entrepreneurs.
study of them.
I did make a study of entrepreneurs in business schools and what might be the qualities of an entrepreneur that differentiate them from people who work for a living in terms of organisations. I think they're very creative people, and there's something different about them.
And so really you're on the learning curve as far as networking is concerned. So welcome
Absolutely.
today, and thank you very much for sharing your information.
Thank you for asking me.